The wars that reshape regions and alter global history rarely begin with clear intent. More often, they emerge from confusion, fear, and miscalculation, when leaders act on incomplete information and events move faster than diplomacy can restrain them. In the Middle East today, the confrontation between the United States and Iran represents one of the most dangerous examples of this dynamic. Although neither side openly seeks a full-scale war, the structure of their rivalry, combined with the militarization of the region, makes the risk of accidental conflict alarmingly high. In such an environment, a single mistake could ignite a chain reaction that neither Washington nor Tehran fully controls. The hostility between the United States and Iran is rooted in history, ideology, and strategic competition. Prior to 1979, Iran was a close US ally under the rule of Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. The Islamic Revolution overturned this relationship entirely, replacing the monarchy with a revolutionary regime that defined itself in opposition to Western influence, particularly that of the United States. The seizure of the US embassy and the prolonged hostage crisis hardened attitudes on both sides, transforming political disagreement into entrenched animosity. Since then, mutual distrust has become institutionalized, passed down through generations of policymakers, military commanders, and political elites. Over the decades, this hostility has taken the form of indirect confrontation rather than open war. The United States has relied heavily on sanctions, diplomatic pressure, intelligence operations, and a forward military presence in the Middle East to contain Iran's influence. Iran, lacking the conventional military power to confront the United States directly, has developed an asymmetric strategy aimed at deterring attack and expanding its regional leverage. This approach relies on ballistic missiles, drones, cyber capabilities, and a network of allied militias across Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, and beyond. While this strategy has succeeded in complicating US calculations, it has also created a dense web of potential flashpoints where small incidents can spiral out of control. The modern Middle East is one of the most heavily militarized regions on Earth. American warships patrol the Persian Gulf, aircraft operate from bases across the region, and missile defense systems stand ready to intercept perceived threats. Iranian forces, meanwhile, maintain air defense units, naval patrols, and missile forces on constant alert, especially in strategic areas such as the Strait of Hormuz. These forces operate in close proximity, often separated by little more than minutes of flight time or narrow stretches of water. Under such conditions, the risk of misinterpretation is constant. A radar signal, an unidentified drone, or an unexpected maneuver can be perceived as hostile intent rather than routine activity. Technological advances have made this situation even more precarious. Modern military systems emphasize speed, automation, and rapid response. Commanders are trained to act quickly to avoid being caught off guard, but speed often comes at the expense of certainty. Automated systems can misclassify targets, and human operators, under pressure, may act before all information is verified. In a high-tension environment, the distinction between defensive readiness and offensive preparation becomes blurred. What one side sees as deterrence, the other may interpret as imminent attack. Cyber operations further complicate the risk environment. Cyber attacks are inherently ambiguous, difficult to attribute, and often misunderstood. An intrusion into military command systems, energy infrastructure, or communications networks could be interpreted as preparation for a larger attack. In the fog of cyber conflict, leaders may feel compelled to respond decisively before suffering further damage. A digital incident, invisible to the public and poorly understood even by experts, could thus become the spark for physical violence. The role of Israel adds another layer of volatility. Israel views Iran's regional ambitions and nuclear capabilities as existential threats and has demonstrated a willingness to act unilaterally to counter them. If Israel were to strike Iranian military or nuclear facilities, Iran would almost certainly retaliate. Given the close strategic relationship between Israel and the United States, Tehran might also target US assets in the region, assuming American involvement or support. In such circumstances, the United States could be drawn into the conflict, even if it had not authorized the initial strike. Once violence begins, the logic of escalation becomes difficult to resist. Political leaders on both sides would face immense domestic pressure to demonstrate strength and resolve. In the United States, any perception of weakness could become a major political liability. In Iran, leaders must balance external confrontation with internal stability, fearing that concessions could embolden opposition movements. National pride, historical grievance, and political survival would all push decision-makers toward retaliation rather than restraint. Military dynamics would reinforce this trend. Armed forces operate according to doctrines designed for worst-case scenarios, and once hostilities begin, commanders may follow established escalation plans that expand the scope of conflict rapidly. Communication channels may break down as trust evaporates, and each side may assume the other is preparing for further attacks. In such an atmosphere, even pauses or ceasefires can be misinterpreted as tactical deception rather than genuine attempts at de-escalation. The regional consequences of a US-Iran war would be severe and far-reaching. Iran would likely activate its network of allied militias, opening multiple fronts simultaneously. Hezbollah could engage Israel from the north, militias could intensify attacks in Iraq and Syria, and Houthis could threaten shipping routes in the Red Sea. The conflict would quickly extend beyond bilateral confrontation, engulfing much of the Middle East in violence. Preventing such a catastrophe requires recognizing that deterrence alone is insufficient. Communication channels, crisis management mechanisms, and diplomatic engagement are essential tools for reducing the risk of accidental war. Clear rules of engagement, reliable intermediaries, and sustained dialogue can help ensure that mistakes do not become disasters. In the absence of these safeguards, the US-Iran standoff remains one of the most dangerous fault lines in international politics. In the end, the greatest danger is not deliberate aggression, but unintended escalation. In a region already burdened by conflict, a single error could unleash a war that neither side truly wants, yet both could find it impossible to stop. The challenge facing policymakers is not simply how to deter adversaries, but how to prevent a moment of confusion or fear from becoming the spark that sets the Middle East ablaze. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.